Welcome to another session of wireless communications and networks, Unit 3, mobile radio propagation, that is small scale fading and multi-path. Today we discuss about the topic on parameters of mobile multi-path channels. Parameters of mobile multi-path channels, nothing but to calculate small scale fading. To calculate small scale fading for multi-paths from transmitter to receiver. We have to calculate how much time it takes. What about signal strength? And what is the distance between transmitter to receiver? By consideration all these, by checking some parameters, only you have to check whether the signal is fading or not. Like, let's move to today's session. Here in this wireless communication networks in general way, channel parameters, that is multi-path, that is a good line of sight path, the path is deflected and finally reach to the receiver, diffraction takes place, scattering takes place, whatever it may be. Many number of paths coming from transmitter to receiver. To check the signal is fade or not. What is fading? Rapid fluctuations in the amplitude. Rapid fluctuations in the amplitude. Here, these multi-path channel parameters mainly depends upon power delay profile. Power delay profile. Here, what is a power delay profile? The name itself shows power. Nothing but depends upon the signal strength. How much signal strength received by the mobile unit. For good line of sight path coming from base station to mobile station or transmitter to receiver, it is good for line of sight path. But due to reflection, due to diffraction, due to scattering, right? Automatically we are getting the received signal, we are getting some loss. Nothing but signal strength can be decreases. Nothing but whenever the signal strength is decreasing, nothing but power can be changed from transmitter to receiver. That is about power delay profile. Here, this power delay profile generally represents as a plots of relative received power as a function of excess delay with respect to a fixed time delay reference. Here, what is the difference between general excess delay and fixed time delay? Nothing but suppose, just we are take in real time example. Suppose I am walking from our university administration building to engineering college. Suppose we have to assume that the distance is 1 kilometer. If I walk through between administration building to engineering college, I will take in generally 5 minutes to walk within 1 kilometer. But is there a disturbance occurs in the road due to rainy season, whatever it may, external conditions? Suppose I will take 7 minutes in general. Maximum 5 minutes is enough, but I will take 7 minutes. In some time it takes 10 minutes also. 7 minutes is a fixed time delay. Fixed time delay, somewhat difference between general walking and that delay, but the 10 minutes take is excess delay. Up to 7 minutes, no problem. You go for 10 minutes take, it is excess delay. That is the difference between excess delay and time delay. Nothing but the signal is transmitted from base station to mobile station. Maximum time it takes 10 milliseconds. Suppose I assume it takes more than 10 milliseconds, it is excess delay. That is the difference between excess delay and fixed time delay. Generally, these power delay profiles, calculating the average power, from all paths. Number of paths is there from base station to mobile station, that is transmitter to receiver. We have to take all paths power and calculating that average. Finally, we are getting power delay profile. Here, the power delay profile can be changed from indoor and outdoor channels. Power delay profile can be changes from indoor and outdoor. Nothing but For outdoor, we have to consider external conditions also. But indoor, we have to the distance between transmitter and receiver is very less, right? Suppose many number of researchers, they are calculating the power delay profiles. The distance between transmitter and receiver is 6 meters in outdoor channels, and the distance between transmitter and receiver in 2 meters in indoor channels, with a frequency range from 450 megahertz to 6 gigahertz range. 6 gigahertz range. Here, see this figure, which shows a power delay profile. Power delay profile. Here, the x-axis shows excess delay time. Excess delay time in terms of microseconds and nanoseconds. For microseconds for outdoor, for nanoseconds for indoor. And y-axis shows the received signal level in terms of dB. How much signal strength? See this both graph, both indoor and outdoor. Whenever the delay is increases, nothing but signal strength can be decreases, right? Instead of 10 milliseconds, it takes more than 10 milliseconds. It takes 20 milliseconds. It takes 100 milliseconds. Nothing but automatically the signal strength can be changes. That is decreases. See these figures, both two figures. The signal strength automatically decreases whenever the excess delay can be increases. Right. Here now we are going for first one is the parameters of the mobile multipath channel is time dispersion parameters. The first type is time dispersion parameters. Nothing but these parameters are totally dependent upon time taken. Totally dependent on time taken from transmitter signal from transmitter to receiver. Suppose from transmitter to receiver it takes 10 milliseconds, but we are getting more than 10 milliseconds to transmit signal. Nothing but delay occurs. How to represent delay? Tau is a symbol to represent delay. Right. Let's move to the time dispersion parameters. Here, these time dispersion parameters for multipath mobile channels, there are three types. That is, first one is mean excess delay, RMS delay spread. Third one is excess delay spread. Three parameters are there for multipath channel under time. Mean excess delay represented by tau bar. Bar shows mean averaging. That's why tau bar. Next, RMS delay spread. RMS delay spread is sigma tau. Next one is excess delay spread is XDB. XDB. First, we are going for mean excess delay. Here, what is the mean excess delay? The mean excess delay is the first moment of the power delay profile, and it is defined. Nothing but it depends upon how many number of paths is there from transmitter to receiver. N paths is there. N paths is there from transmitter to receiver. Among all paths, how much power for each path we have to calculate first, and taking the average is called the mean excess delay. That is tau bar, which is equal to, it is a ratio of summation k ak square tau k divided by summation k of a square of k. A square of k. Here ak square is a thing, but it depends on power. Nothing but the calculation is what is the ratio between P and voltage, and P equal to VI. Otherwise, it equal to P equal to V square R. We had to write V nothing but voltage. Similarly, V square. Similarly, for AK square nothing but amplitude. Depends upon the voltage. That's why it is power directly, which is equal to summation K of P of tau K multiplied with tau K divided by summation K of P of tau K is nothing but mean excess delay. The next one is RMS delay spread. RMS delay spread. Here the RMS delay spread is defined as the square root of second central moment of the power delay profile. Second central moment of power delay profile, that is sigma tau, which is equal to root of tau square bar minus tau bar whole square. You know that tau square bar, which is equal to summation k of a square k tau k square divided by summation k of a k square. You know how to change this. That is, the mean excess delay is first moment of the power delay profile. The RMS delay spread is the second central moment. Here this table column shows the RMS delay spread for in different environment and different cities. See this one, first this column shows environment and frequency in second column. RMS delay spread is third column, and which city we are calculated. Environment is urban, suburban, indoor, like this. The frequency is in between 850 megahertz to 1900 megahertz finally. How much we are getting RMS delay spread? For urban area, it is 1300 nanoseconds average. For urban area, 10 to 25 microseconds is average. Whenever frequency is less, automatically spread delay spread can be increases. Check both. For 9110, we are getting nanoseconds. For 892 megahertz, we are getting in terms of microseconds. Likewise, suburban area for indoor environment for different cities and different buildings, they are calculated. Finally, they are given typical measured values for RMS delay spread. The next parameter is maximum excess delay. Maximum excess delay, it is in terms of capital X dB. Right. And this maximum excess delay is defined as to the time delay during which multipath energy falls X dB below to maximum. That is the maximum excess delay, which is equal to tau x minus tau naught. What is remember, tau naught is the first arriving signal. Tau x is maximum delay. That is nothing but suppose we are checking N paths, capital N paths from transmitter to receiver. The first path is good line of sight path, that is tau naught. And the tau naught, we are not getting any delay. But due to taking for a first path, second path, third path, fourth path, like N paths is there. If we are getting the signal transmitted from transmitter receiver, either due to reflection, due to diffraction, due to scattering, different environment conditions, we are getting delay. At that time, it is tau x, I think, but we have to fix one threshold value. Above the threshold value, it is maximum excess delay. Below threshold value, no problem. We did not consider any delay problem. See this one, this is shown in figure like this. See this one. In x-axis, it shows excess delay in terms of nanoseconds. In y-axis, shows a normalized in terms of dB. Here, example, they are taken in the environment. They are taken all mean excess delay, RMS delay spread, maximum excess delay, and threshold. Here they are fixing threshold value, which is equal to minus 20 dB. Minus 20 dB. So we are getting more than threshold level, more than minus 20 dB. Nothing but it is the severe fading occurs. Below threshold value, no problem. Here, this maximum excess delay we are getting above the threshold value. I think we are getting more time to transmit the particular signal. Right. This is the three parameters under time dispersion. That is mean excess delay, RMS delay spread, and maximum delay. Here the mean excess delay is the first power delay profile. RMS delay spread is nothing but the second moment of the power delay profile, and maximum excess delay is depends upon the threshold value. Next parameter we are going for coherence bandwidth. Here the representation of coherence bandwidth is BC. Coherence bandwidth is BC. Here, this coherence bandwidth is depends upon the RMS delay spread. RMS delay spread, that is sigma tau. Now we are going for what is exact definition of the coherence bandwidth. Coherence bandwidth is a statistical range of frequencies over which the channel can be considered should be flat. Here different range of frequencies over the which channel can be considered should be flat, nothing but all the spectral components approximately having equal gain and linear phase. Linear phase, that is nothing but flat. The other definition of this coherence bandwidth is the coherence bandwidth is the range of frequency over which two frequency components have a strong potential for amplitude correlation. Amplitude correlation, nothing but out of n paths, capital N paths from transmitter to receiver, we have to check two paths. Among n paths, we have to check two paths. Which two paths having highly correlated, that is highly equal amplitudes. At that time, the bandwidth is calculated coherence bandwidth. Here, the coherence bandwidth BC, whose frequency correlation is above 0.9%. Whose correlation function is above 0.9. Then the coherence bandwidth, which is equal to 1/50 sigma tau. BC equal to 1/50 sigma tau. Suppose the frequency correlation function is below 0.5, then BC equal to 1/5 sigma tau. 1/5 sigma tau. That is the coherence bandwidth and RMS delay spread are inversely proportional. The next one is Doppler spread and coherence time. Doppler spread and coherence time. Although we know we discussed about Doppler shift. Here the Doppler shift is nothing but the Doppler shift is depends upon the relative motion between the transmitter and receiver. Nothing but the receiver, that is mobile unit, moving towards to the base station is a positive Doppler shift. When the mobile unit is away from the base station, movement is negative Doppler shift. Doppler shift. Suppose we are assuming that FC is the probing pulse or carrier frequency and FD is the Doppler shift. Doppler shift. Here, based upon these functions, the Doppler spectrum can be ranges from FC minus FD to FC plus FD. Here plus FC plus FD is nothing but the mobile station moving towards to the base station. FC minus FD, nothing but the mobile station is moving away from the base. That is the difference between. That is the ranges were from FC minus FD to FC plus FD. Right. Here the representation of this Doppler spread is nothing but B suffix D. Doppler spread. It depends upon the velocity of your mobile, whether towards to the base station or away from the base station. When it is towards to the base station, the BD is depends upon FC plus FD. Whenever the mobile unit is moving away from the base station, the BD is depends upon FC minus F. This is about Doppler spread. Suppose if the baseband signal bandwidth is much greater than BD, that is, we are available sufficient bandwidth than the BD, then it should be negligible. Next, we are going for coherence time. Coherence time. Here, this coherence time, it is in the time domain. It is also depends upon the Doppler spread and Doppler spread. Where exactly we are using this the parameters coherence time? It is used to characterize the time varying nature of frequency dispersiveness of the channel in the time domain. That is time nature, timing varying nature. Again, it depends upon the delay. That's why the coherence time TC, which is equal to 1 by FM. FM. That is, both the Doppler spread and the coherence time are inversely proportional to each other. This is the some of the parameters for mobile multipath bus. That is based upon the coherent, based upon the time domain. We are calculating 3 parameters. That is mean excess delay, RMS delay spread, excess delay. Right. Next, we are discuss about coherence time. Next, we are discuss about Doppler spread, and we are discuss about any number of parameters for small scale fading to calculate what are the parameters. Do you have any query? Type your query in a chat box. Thank you very much for today's session.